This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non-public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. Hey guys, it's me, Moon and Papa, and you are here watching me live on YouTube. So this is my weekly live stream. I have one every single week. If you're new to this, let me show you around. So over here on YouTube, I'm really close, inching my way to 22K subs. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you can inch me a little bit closer to the next rounding up. Every single week at this time, I have a live stream. So it's my Thursday at 11 a.m. North America and like New York, it's Wednesdays at 10 p.m. and it would be 7 p.m. For people that are on the West Coast, like LA. So every single week I have a live stream, and the purpose of the live stream is to do analysis for Bitcoin, Ethereum, the crypto market, and to really talk about what I'm seeing on the market, give you a couple of tips and tricks along the way, and just have a good time. So we're seeing a little bit of a bounce, which is good. I am happy that the Fed stuck to their projected 50 basis points increase for their rate hike, and apparently everyone else in the market is really happy with that too. There weren't any surprises. It wasn't any higher. If it was going to be higher, like a 75% point increase, which would be insane, then the market would definitely negatively react. But because the Fed rate hike is exactly what people are expecting, pretty much all that fear was priced in. This happened the last time, by the way. If you don't remember, you can check the history of the live streams. But the last Fed meeting, there was a lot of fear coming up to it. People were saying this is going to be really bad. It's going to be really bad. The market sold off and then it recovered afterward. So there are more interesting things happening in regards to crypto and Bitcoin's price action, but we do have to pay attention to the greater world. So I've been talking a lot. I'm pretty sure that you all can hear my voice, and I'm just going to do a quick check. Yeah, we're all good. So I'm going to pop on over to TradingView and talk a bit about what I'm seeing on good old BTC. So yes, we're looking at a lot more trading pairs today, mainly because I talked about these three at the beginning of the week: KNC, SHIB, and APE. So first off, let's focus on Big Daddy Honey Badger BTC. So first off, I think it just goes to show at how awesome the TBO is. So I've said it before, but this thicker line that's here, it's changing from pink to like it's light green. This line is showing us basically the fast moving average for the TBO. The price will consistently be magnetized to that. It's going to be coming up, and it's one of two things. If the price escapes too quickly, then the fast line is going to move down even more dramatically, or vice versa. If the price is escaping to the upside, it's going to move up much faster. But eventually the price always touches that line. And that's what we're seeing here. The price has touched the line of the TBO fast line right there, but it's done a lot more than just the TBO, but we'll just focus on that for the moment here. So the main thing to know is that yes, we are still bearish according to the TBO on the daily time frame. If we zip ahead to other time frames, we can get a little bit more information about what's happening and signs of a potential reversal. So this orange diamond right here, this is the close short symbol. So this close short symbol is basically going to tell us when the trend could change soon. So this is something that we need to pay attention to. We can get multiple signals of these, like we had one here on April 26th, got another one here on the 28th, actually one on the 28th, one on the 29th. If we look back at the price action based on these orange dots, so we got one here on March 11th, got one here on March 15th, and the price did shoot up afterward about 20%. We haven't seen that big move up yet, mainly because of a lot of other external factors, but that's something to pay attention to. I do like to see what the TBO is doing on the 4 hour. That way I have a better sense of what could be changing sooner rather than later. So on the daily time frame, if we look at some other things like volume is staying more consistent now. It's not impressive, but it's growing just a little bit, just a little bitty bit, but we're not really seeing any of these big wicks like we've seen in the past. If we compare May last year, 2021, that was our big dump down, and that started basically the bear summer. So we don't see any of that volume coming in right now. Volume has pretty much died down a lot, which is something that's scary, to be honest. Volume tells us a lot about not just who's buying and selling, but also the activity of the market. So if we don't have a lot of volume, then we should expect the price to suffer for that, in my opinion. So looking at the RSI, so RSI is starting to slowly build and gain strength, which is good. We've seen it break out of this overhead trend range, and yes, you can chart RSI just like a price, just like an equity, a coin chart, all that stuff. So now that we see the chart of RSI, or rather the indicator of RSI, moving up and showing signs of strength, we haven't seen that reflected in the price action yet. Let's just compare what we're seeing now to what we saw before, back in this area. So RSI dipped down below 25, and it did move up, and we could see it slowly starting to gain strength. But even here, the price didn't really break above 42K until RSI was well above 65 or so. So if you're feeling like, well, RSI is already moving up to 55, basically 54, shouldn't the price be reacting positively? Not necessarily. RSI literally means relative strength index. So this is giving us an idea of the strength of the asset. And just because the price isn't moving up doesn't mean that it's not gaining strength. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of accumulation right now, and we're probably going to see a move up, mainly because of this big bounce that we had yesterday, and the fears of the Fed meeting have been calmed. So let's take a look at some other stuff. I'm going to remove the TBO and the volume just to make this really easy. So this yellow line right here is really important. It was drawn from this dip back in September, this complementary dip right here, not complementary, but follow-up dip in January. So that line at 39K essentially has been very important for Bitcoin. Not only has it been support, it's also been resistance for BTC for many, many months. It's been a very, very dependable price point. So that means that where we are right now, there's no surprise at all that we are literally, well, the close of the daily candle here at 39,690, and looking at where this is at, get it right there, one little more. Let's see, I can do it like this. Oops, things got all goofed up. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's great. So I'm going to do this. There we go. So we're just going to forget that. I don't want to mess with that anymore. It's freaking me out. Okay. So we can see that it's literally just a couple of dollars away, $5 away from that. So I'm showing you this because I want you to know that how dependable these trend lines are. We really do need to watch them and pay attention to them, because if we don't and we ignore them, we are asking for it. So let's bring up some more trend lines, and this might be overload, but these are all the trend lines that I'm paying attention to right now. So a lot of these are historical. A lot of these are coming from very long points. So what I want to do first is I want to show you these trend lines first. So this trend line right here, this green one, is what we were really testing since May 1st. So April 30th, it fell down. On May 1st, we got a confirmation bounce that it was tested, but it was supported. And we've gotten a double bounce right here. And if we go to a faster time frame, like the 4-hour, we're going to see it much more clearly. So here we go, bounce 1, bounce 2. So a double bounce off of that support line should mean that we are going to have some bullish price action today. And for the rest of the week, we should actually see a bigger move. There are a couple other trend lines that we need to pay attention to. Another one is actually in play right now. So this red trend line right here to this top right here. So the price of BTC cracked above it, but it hasn't closed above it just yet. But to be honest, if the bullish momentum keeps up, I don't see why it won't close above this today. And doing so is a big deal because we haven't, well, we tested it here after making our trend line test broke, test broke, test broke. We haven't broken this line yet. This is the closest we've gotten to it. If we can close above this trend line today, then I expect Bitcoin to come up here to test this resistance at, lo and behold, at 42K, which is a very important number as well. So if today's price cannot break above this yellow trend line, cannot break above this today, then that means we're going to take a pretty sharp dive, which would be a surprise given the bullish nature and price action. And then we would just retest again. One thing I want to point out about these trend lines is that it's really important not to underestimate rather the importance of the trend lines. We actually saw this play out before. We had a previous channel, and the beautiful thing about this previous channel was that every single time the price came into this channel, the bottom part weakened. Every single time it's a bam, 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 and then it broke, tested, confirmed below. And now that trend line has been broken on that old channel. So we haven't seen that kind of hammering yet, but the fact is that this confirmed our trend line, and now we've tested it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. If the price of BTC today gets rejected and it comes down, we'll probably see it test again at 37.8, move up, test again, but remember, the more times we bounce on this trend line, the weaker it becomes, and that spells disaster for bulls and spells profits for bears. So I think that we're going to see a very important day unfold before us, more important than earlier this week, where we did confirm the bounce. Now we're moving up, and now Bitcoin is literally at this important price. Really interesting price action today for BTC. Okay, let's talk about something else. If we look at our Fibonacci lines, which are super important, we've crossed above a really important line at 39,200. So the fact is that being above that makes us bullish. It really does. It's a really, really good line to be above because you can see so many times it acted as resistance, resistance, support, resistance, support, 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 resistance. So again, same thing right here. We are literally above this line, but now this is a moment of truth. If Bitcoin is bullish, really bullish, and we're going to mash it all together and it's going to be very busy. But if Bitcoin's bullish today and we get this move up, my next point where I think that we're going to just see some resistance is going to be here at 42K, easy. But there's so much right here. There are a lot of factors at play. Remember that RSI though is building strength. So it seems more likely to me for a bullish scenario. Now, just because Bitcoin is looking bullish doesn't necessarily mean that things are rosy-posy and amazing and we're going to go to the moon. I still feel bearish. I don't like that the price keeps coming down to this trend line, We're not seeing higher highs. We're now seeing lower lows. We're seeing the testing of this really long historical trend line. This isn't bullish. This is weakness in play. This is a slow grind, and slow grinds are so painful, mainly for bulls, because people that are stuck in a bullish mentality and they don't know how to adjust to bearish conditions get chopped up the worst. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go back in time, and I don't even need anything. All I'm going to do is come back here to 2018. Now, I want to show you what I'm talking about. We're not in this exact situation. We're not going to see a repeat of any single one market, but there are some similarities that we need to pay attention to. For instance, there was this price point of $6,000 that no one thought Bitcoin would ever break below because it couldn't do that. It's too strong. It's too bullish. But when you look at it, you can see clearly that we have diminishing highs, diminishing highs, diminishing highs. What do you think is going to happen next? Why? Okay, let me put it this way. Why would the price shoot above this to go up higher? It makes no sense. We can see that there's a magnet price down here, 6K, this 6K range. The price of BTC is falling and falling and falling. Why would it break higher? It doesn't make sense. As traders, we really need to factor in momentum. So what happens? Well, what happens next is a big drop. People think 6K is going to hold, and it doesn't. And because panic sets in, the price falls another 43%. It's a pretty brutal fall. And I mean, I remember being here. I wish I bought more BTC. And you're going to hear lots of other traders say that. So the important part is that if we think about where we are today, no, it's not the same market, but we can see something that's similar in play. It doesn't take a genius to see what's happening here. It doesn't. You don't need fancy indicators. You don't even need a lot. You just need your eyes. You can just draw what you see happening. So what I see happening right here is that our channel is constricting. It's getting tighter and tighter. You don't need Bollinger Bands to see that. I do see that we're having some rising lows. We're making higher lows, which is good, but we're also making lower highs. So we're really getting into a tight channel. And anytime any price of any token gets in a really tight channel, there's going to be an explosive move. I would love that explosive move to be to the upside. Believe me. But like I said, I feel like there are too many reasons for Bitcoin to be bearish in the midterm, short to midterm. Long term, always bullish. But for now, there are just so many points that Bitcoin has to cross above in order to be truly bullish, that it's going to take a whole lot of good news. So here's another thing that's important. Boy, that's really confusing looking, isn't it? There we go. One other thing that's really important to remember is that because more trading desks and firms and institutional investors are trading Bitcoin now, there's something you have to know about traders. This is the last month before summer starts. There is a saying for traditional markets, in May, go away. And that literally means that, well, not literally, but it figuratively means that traders are getting ready to close out what they're doing so that way they can take their couple months of vacation for the summer. What we've seen happen not pretty reliably, but more often than not, we do see a dump in May and June and July and August. Those are typically very bearish months for cryptocurrency. But the fall is when things pick up again. Again, another reason why I'm not really bullish on BTC. It can always surprise me. So with that said, it's important to remember that there are more players in the market, more sophisticated players than just retail traders like you and I. This means that most of those traders are looking to take some profits and to move on. And that means when there's a lack of trading volume, the price typically suffers the most. Doesn't mean that everything's going to fall, but it doesn't spell wonderful news for BTC. Okay, so I want to take a quick break to show you something. All right. So over here on my 30-minute time frame, I have this red line right here, this red stuff. This says TBT stop loss hunting or SL hunting. This is an indicator that's available from the Better Traders Club, and I want to show you how it performed last time. So it actually went off April 25th, 2022. Bitcoin moved up 6%, and then it chopped, and it fell right back down. What the stop loss hunting alert does is it literally lets us know when there's basically a high risk of liquidations to come. What's important to note is that it doesn't necessarily mean that the market's going down or up, because this literally chopped both ways, up and then right down. We are in the middle of this, and it triggered here. It fell down a little bit, and now we're up, which is nice. But keep in mind, if we look back at other times where we saw the stop loss hunting indicator, we saw it going off like crazy over here in March. So check it out. 23rd of February, we get the alert. How many? Let's see, a day before a dump. Pretty good one. We get an alert where at the top, letting us know that things could get a little bit choppy coming up soon. And what happens next? Well, of course, the price dumps. We get another alert right here. What happens? The price shoots up and it falls down. Super mega chop. And then we get one here. So maybe short. This is basically letting us know that there's going to be more volatility. It doesn't mean to exit or stop anything. It just means be careful, protect your profits. The price shoots up and it keeps going. We get another one right here and the price keeps going. So out of all of these, maybe, let's see, this one right here, or actually this one right here ended up, actually, no, this was right at the very top. So only one of these out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one out of 7 were basically ineffective. The last one before where we are right now, pretty good. This last one, pretty good as well. So I'm letting you all know on YouTube that this stop loss hunting alert is legit awesome, and it works very well. The place where you can get access to the stop loss hunting alert is through the Better Traders Club subscription. There's a lot of stuff that's included in the club. The big thing that we talk about a lot is the DCA backtester. But if we come down here, you're going to see the TBT forecaster as well as the stop loss hunting indicator. There's a ton of stuff that you get through the club. This is just one of so many tools that you get. Another one that I want to I'll show you real quick is that on Discord in our private server for the club, we also have this thing called TBD signals, which stands for the Better Dip signals, a la Tostitos. So we have an alert here yesterday at 9 a.m. letting us know that this might be a good place to buy the dip. So buying the dip at 37,729, going back to the chart, 37,729 yesterday at 9 a.m. Let's see, right here. So wouldn't you have liked to have gotten an alert right here at 9 a.m. letting you know that, oh, you might want to buy the dip right now? Because if you did, you would be up about 5%. And that's a really meager win, to be honest. These TBD signals are meant for mid to long term, and they work extremely well in a sideways market like we're in right now to let you know when accumulation is happening. And then when we have a move up, they're real quiet because the move has already been made. So again, two really, really, really good benefits of the Better Traders Club. Again, the stop loss hunting alert is awesome. Those alerts are also pushed to Discord, where everyone gets notified about that, as well as the TBD signals. Again, I cannot recommend the Better Traders Club enough. So let's talk about some other charts and what I am seeing, thinking, feeling all of those emotions. So not much to say right now on dominance for Bitcoin or for USDT. Both are falling, and that doesn't surprise me because when Bitcoin makes the smallest move up, everything else overreacts like crazy. That's just the market we're in right now. Ethereum is doing okay. It actually had its first test of its current channel. So we can see here, out of all of these bounces, we're getting more bounces, more touches to the downside. Again, that is bearish. It's not bullish. It is very much bearish. The more touches we have on one side, we're leaning more towards that side. If we saw more touches to the upside, that would be extremely bullish. We're not seeing that. So we had our first almost official touch, but this move up, this recovery so far, I would say, yeah, that's a pretty successful move up and seems to be doing all right for now. Not amazingly, but not amazing, but okay-ish. So our target, according to the 200-day moving average, is 3,400. It's going to take a lot to get there. But I don't think it's impossible, but it's going to take a lot. If we look at our current trend lines, the reason why I say that is because that's above our big, long trend line drawn from here to our high that we made in early April. It's going to take a lot for Ethereum to shoot up another 17%, not to mention break above 1 and 2 trend lines, 11% away. These are big moves. At least we are above our support, which is good. But we have to also take into consideration that the TBO is giving us a clear sign of our trend right now. It's a red cloud. It's very much bearish. We have an open short on the daily. Even though the prices come up, it's still not bullish yet. We've seen it come up to it many times before after falling. We did turn bullish here on March 24th, only to turn bearish again. It's just the nature of the beast. So looking at a faster time frame on the 4-hour, we're getting lots and lots of symbols here, right here, and right there. Those two, the orange dots are letting us know a trend change could be coming. And this is really helpful because when we look at our trend lines, let me go ahead and add them back in. Cool. So we have a trend line that isn't there. So let me go ahead and draw it right here. So the reason why Ethereum is also breaking out right now is because this trend line from April 5th that touches here on the 21st, now Ethereum is above it essentially, which is pretty good. It's good for the short term. It's similar to what Bitcoin is looking at right now as far as its trend lines. Let me bring all those back. So you can see it's essentially that same move up, except Bitcoin hasn't moved above it, but Ethereum has closed and it's continuing to be above it. It's the same thing. When Bitcoin is just a little bit bullish, everything is exaggeratedly bullish. On the flip side, when Bitcoin's a little bit bearish, everything is like panicking, blood red, terrible. This is just the nature of cryptocurrency markets. So Ethereum is a much better bet in my opinion right now. It has growing RSI. It seems much more feasible for it to make a move higher up. So let me take away some of this stuff, like the current channel and the trend lines, and then we can look at our fibs. So we are right at a fib line right now. Oh, let me organize this a little bit. There we go. So right at a fib at basically 3,000. So we've got to break above that. And currently we are just by $2 or so. But we really want to make that next move up. And believe me when I say that we are going to have way more volatility right here. It's going to be hard to break above this line, not just because it's another fib line, but because it was a struggle before. It was a struggle before, and it's going to be a struggle again. So these lines are not magic. They're not voodoo. This is just how it works. I talk about this a lot in the Smarter Trader course. So if we look at our more up-to-date Fibonacci lines, we are right at our 382. So we're going to get some more major resistance up here at 3,500. Again, and that's going to mean a couple of things. We're going to have to break above a lot above us in order to make it up there. So again, I would love to see Ethereum shoot up to the next one at 32K. But we're just going to have to see how Bitcoin reacts, because if Bitcoin is bearish, then guess what? Everything else is going to be more bearish. So now I want to talk about these three tokens, and I want to just give a quick update on these three because I talked about them at the beginning of the week. If you want to review that video, it's over here. Oh, good grief. Even I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. On here on uploads, it's this one right here from 2 days ago. So this is just a quick update on it. So I said KNC in that video, you should watch it because I talk about the TBO and how the TBO tells us when the trend may be coming to an end. Amazingly so, literally 1 day after I post the video, we have a close long symbol on the daily time frame for KNC. That typically means that it's time to either take profits or get out. So we can see that we had one here. The price fell down very similarly, actually, to what we're seeing right now. Took a little bit of time and then it rocketed right back up. I also said in that video that it's not uncommon for the price of one of these charts is just really on a tear to come into the TBO and to do a retest. The thing that I don't like, to be honest, is that this drop was so much bigger than other drops. That's a 43% drop instead of a 36% drop. It didn't break below the cloud, but that's a pretty severe one. So severe that it's actually bent the fast line downward. And that is not a good sign. That is not a good look for something that should be in a strong uptrend. So in my opinion, KNC is done. It's had its run. A lot of people in the Better Traders Club have been making some great gains with this, but to me, I don't see it really picking up and just continuing on that bear run. The bull run. If anything, it would make so much more sense for it to do a little bit of dance and then to come up, fake people out, not go just, go about just here, 520, and then make the fall down. So it would not surprise me to see KNC make a double top in the next 2 weeks. So again, a double top is when we got resistance up here, resistance up here. We got a line right there, and we have a line like this. That's pretty much what we're looking at. So when we got this double top, that means the price is going to struggle. It's going to come up not as high, and then it's going to fall. That's what I'm expecting to see for KNC. So SHIB, Shiba Inu. So on the first, it found its support. It's still not looking strong. Nothing is changing my mind about Shiba Inu at all. It still looks and seems very weak. One thing that this chart likes to do, though, is surprise us. So I don't see the kind of momentum building up here. Check out the RSI building, but the price action isn't doing anything. That's what you want to look out for. We're seeing a really strong RSI, but the price action is moving too much. The range is too high. If we saw price action that's a lot tighter, then I would be much more bullish. But for now, I don't see anything coming unless Elon wants to tweet about something. And then, of course, it'll pump 30%. And lastly, we have Ape. So Ape took a hit. And on the first, it fell. So it fell by basically 31%. It took a pretty big hit. So this one isn't as helpful on the daily time frame because it's still really fresh and new. But on the 4 hour, you better believe that we have a lot more information from the TBO. So on the 4 hour, we can see we have our close long here on May 1st at 9 a.m. And then the price has continued to fall. So we are below the cloud, but that doesn't mean that the game is over. I know that there was an issue with the some sort of like metaverse land, whatever, for Yuga Clan, right? Whatever. Yeah. There was an idiot, or not an idiot. There was a bad mistake with the smart contract or something like that, and then that's what really caused the sell-off. So people were buying it because of the expectation to use Ape to buy. Lots of issues, and then people's dreams were dashed. So where are we now? Well, now we are in this spot where we are starting to build up steam. We're starting to see a bottom has been established, and I want to show you this just because I love my TBO. You know I do. So even without, and let me remove the indicators. Oh, sorry, hide the drawings. Check out this nice long line on the hourly time frame. This is our support line from the TBO. Check out where the price comes. It literally comes just about 10 to 15 cents from that line. If you caught that, you're up 15%. This is why I love the TBO. So if we are looking at the 4-hour time frame, we have a really long line of resistance right here, but we can take that as support. So the price fell below support, but it's still above it right now. These lines are so helpful for new traders, for experienced traders. The TBO is the trending breakout indicator, and this is exactly what it does. It lets us know the strength of a trend. It lets us know when a trend might be changing, when it might be confirmed bullish or bearish, the strength of the trend with the cloud, as well as where resistance and support are on multiple time frames. So if we look at it at the fastest time frame that I like to use, which is the 30-minute time frame, we're now starting to see a really confident recovery. Notice that we have our, sorry, let me close that. Our close short orange diamond, close short orange diamond, and then kapow, a nice 20% move. So great trading for active traders right here, especially on the 5-minute time frame. We can even see a little bit of hidden momentum right here. Check that out. 5-minute time frame. We get our breakouts, which are the white dots. It lets us know that there should be a very big explosive move to the upside soon. And after that, a nice 19% move. I'm telling you guys, there's a reason why I use this for all of my trades. Lastly, I've talked about the club a lot. I got one more thing to share with you. In the Better Traders Club, in our Discord server, we have a private live stream that people have access to the archive for that. Kind of similar to here on YouTube, but it goes way more to depth, and I have a watch list and do all that stuff. One of the pairs at the very top of my watch list, I had 3 pairs that you must watch trading pairs. One of them is TRX. And the reason why TRX is in that must watch category is because, not because this is happening, but because I knew it was going to happen. Let me bring back some lines over here. So I saw something setting up on Tron that when this thing starts to move, I know these tokens and I know that how they work. So this is what comes with years and years of trading experience, by the way. You just learn how to recognize trends before they happen. So we have this trend line. It tested it so many times, successfully went above and then broke down. And now we found the support. And now the price has broken above it. So we had our live stream on the 1st when it broke above. And I said, you got to watch this one. You got to watch it. And where are we now? We are up 25% on Tron. So these are the kinds of things, the kind of benefits that are available to you with the Better Traders Club. So much stuff that I've talked about already. So I just wanted to show you this just because it's fun. It's fun to show off these nice little wins like this. So to recap, because we are at 38 minutes, which is 8 minutes over when I'm supposed to be doing this. But just to recap again, Bitcoin is, of course, it's always at a point of importance as far as price action goes. This yellow line right here is super important for Bitcoin's price action. If it closes above there and it makes its way up to 42K today, I will be so impressed. If we bring all the trend lines here, I would be amazed to see Bitcoin move it up to 42K today. I'm still feeling bearish, mainly because if we look at our trend lines, this green line right here, we see so many new tests of it. We could still move up because as long as the stock market's happy, Bitcoin's going to be happier and alts are going to be happier. You get it? So a move up could happen today. A move up could happen this week, but as we approach the weekend and we come up to 42K, it's going to be quite difficult to break above this. It's going to be really hard. So if you're trading alts like Tron, like Ape, like Ethereum, make sure that you're taking profits on the way up. Because even though things look awesome and feel awesome right now, just be really careful because things could change like that with crypto. So far, so good. Could see a bullish recovery this week. Be on your toes on the weekend. And until the next time. Oh, wait, no, I didn't look at any questions. Sorry. Let me just check a couple of comments here on YouTube. Sorry about that. So do I think a short squeeze could be in play? No, it would be... I mean, we basically saw a short squeeze. It's not like the big kind of short squeeze that we really want to see. Yes, May the 4th. That's right. It is May the 4th over there. It's May 5th here. So it's now Cinco de Mayo, right? Yeah. And bear trap coming. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. What's the TBO? The TBO is available for free. No, the TBO is a paid indicator that you can get through thebettertraders.com. The link is down below, but on our site, there's more information about it over here. So if you like the idea of the TBO, but you want to learn how to use it, great. We have a course that teaches you how to use the TBO indicator. There are resources, and I teach this I teach how to use this indicator in all 4 of our trading courses on thebettertraders.com, and you also get a free trial of it as well. So there is that for you. Okay, so I made it through all the questions. Sorry about that. So the main thing again is that be careful. The market is feeling like there could be a recovery as we go into the weekend. Volume's going to drop. Just be careful. But if you're in some positions, make sure to take profits on the way up, because just because we're moving up now doesn't mean that we are going to the moon next week. Be really careful, take profits, and protect your portfolio at all costs. And until the next week, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.